Well, hello everyone, Paul Akers, and welcome back to the American Innovator. We are wrapping up one epic journey on our last day in Berlin. We're going to do some great learning today and conclude with resistance of the Nazi Party as well as a visit to Checkpoint Charlie. The learning never seems to stop, so let's get started. Here we are on day 17, the last day, and now we're focusing on the Cold War. And right behind me is Checkpoint Charlie. So in 1982, this is where I came as a young student, and I was very afraid when I walked through these gates because I was headed this way to East Germany. And it was a huge contrast between West Germany and East Germany. And here I return now in 2016. This has been quite a journey, charting everything that's been going on. And I remember when I came through and these buildings right here were all bombed out and burned out, but now they've all been restored. But I remember all of them were bricked up and they were black from the war, and it was really a distressing scene. And then I went into East Germany and it was also completely different from West Germany. But today it's a whole different world. The world is getting better. Next, we went inside the Border Museum, or Checkpoint Charlie Museum, and this poster says Yankee Go Home because the Soviet Union was not interested in the Marshall Plan and the millions of dollars that were being pumped into Europe to rebuild it. But despite that, they built the wall, kept their people from coming to the West, and their people were very ingenious, like this guy inside a fuel tank of a car. They did everything and anything to get across the border from East Berlin to West Berlin. This guy created a zipline system, threw a hammer across the wall. Somebody received it on the other side, tied it up, and then zipped his son across the border. And this is what the border looked like in the no man's land. And I remember this very well when I went across it myself. These people armor-plated a car, put concrete in the doors, steel plates in the front, so that when the guards shot at them, they would survive it, and they made it across. These people did all kinds of things. This man right here let a little boy go through and he was promptly dismissed. Here is an oxygen breathing system for swimming across the water, the lakes, the rivers, you name it, they did it. And this is the man that allowed this little boy to go through and actually was then dismissed as a guard. Very ingenious. This is Checkpoint Charlie as I remember it. You had to zigzag through to get over to the east, and you had guard towers with machine guns being trained on you, and I'll never forget that passing. Then they had a section for famous U.S. presidents. Ronald Reagan's chainsaw was here. Ronald Reagan spoke. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. And then John F. Kennedy, Ich bin ein Berliner. And then as we drove along, these were the actual buildings that I remember burned out and very decrepit looking when I went into East Germany. There was a few of them still left. So this is a section of the Berlin Wall that they were left up that has a lot of graffiti and artwork on it. This is Brezhnev being kissed by the former East German Prime Minister. And you can walk along both sides on the east and the west and see all this artwork everywhere. There's people out there singing. This guy had a horse head on and he was singing with no clothes on. Pretty funny. It's a crazy place. And then this whole area of East and West Berlin, it's just a beautiful area. This is the river that runs down between the two of them. This was oftentimes a border. And then we went to a Russian memorial. Now, when the Russians laid siege on Berlin during World War II, they're said to have lost as many as 80,000 soldiers in one day. 5,000 of those soldiers are buried here, and it is a overwhelming memorial. It's absolutely huge, and I put the drone up and got an overview looking down into it to see how really incredible this was. And our last stop was the Resistance Museum, where thousands of people resisted the Nazi regime and either lost their lives or were ostracized. The bottom line is there were so many people that stood up. If they only could have been more organized, and this quote really sums it all up. How much less dangerously can one live if one runs with the herd and aligns oneself thoughtlessly with old tradition, instead of swimming against the current for one's conviction and bearing all consequences as an outcast. There you have it, conclusion to day 17 of our Beyond Band of Brothers tour throughout Europe. It was an epic experience with amazing historians and guides throughout the entire journey with great people on the trip. I can't tell you how much I learned and how much I enjoyed every second of it. I put together a day 18, which is the best drone footage from the entire trip, so look for day 18, best drone footage from Beyond Band of Brothers. We'll see you next time on The American Innovator.